After you've practiced meditation for a while, your meditation changes. It's really hard to describe what happens to when you go from ordinary, not thinking much about anything, to focusing your attention on yourself. After you've been doing it for a while, the meditation changes. Your non-speaking, non-thinking attribute becomes the dominant attribute. And what happens is you start meditation. If you've been practicing it long enough, after a few minutes, you pass from being in the human world to being in another dimension altogether. When the mind stops, all that energy that's usually frittered about stops frittering. And you become yourself. By that I mean you drop into a state where there's no thought, no fear, no love. But it has a power beyond belief, power of silence, power of nothingness. Your body seemingly disappears from your attention. And if you attend to it, it would not be there. You wouldn't know how to attend to it because it's not there, not in the way it was. You fall into yourself. So much happens. But there are no dreams. There's no thinking. And in a sense, there's no body. You're not able to isolate a thing called your body or you. and you're filled with emptiness. And the emptiness is totally serene, totally free of wanting to know, totally free of thoughts. It's totally free. You're totally free. There's nothing happening. You becomes the totality of everything, no longer separated from the environment. You opens to the world, and you as a person disappear. And you're gripped by the silence. It totally grabs you. And you're silent. Maybe for the first time in memory. You become totally surrendered. One with everything, except your body, which is not there. And if you turn within, your own cognized state is one of perfect freedom and knowing nothing. The mind no longer isolates or thinks of anything because it's caught up in the awe of being you in the present. So sink into yourself. Close your eyes. Turn your attention around. And in a sense, try to look inside of your body. The empty body, the absent body. And you'll feel a change in focus from out there in here. And when you can stay in here, eventually the mind stops altogether. And you no longer exist as a person. You become the entirety of consciousness itself. With your attention inside of you. The outside world exists as a percept, but it's on the horizon, not central. And you feel different. The universe opens up to you. You feel the entirety of what's external to you that you can perceive in terms of hearing or seeing. And you become the origin. As well as the destination. You sink into yourself. There are no longer any distinctions between self and not self. All understanding disappears. And you're in the rest of enlightenment. By that I mean, you're no more broadly a functioning human in the world. But in a place that recognizes only you as existing, even though you have no body, no mind, just spaciousness. And you fill that spaciousness in complete silence, unbelievable rest, and calmness. Everything goes still. Nothing outside of you can grab any of your attention. Because you're really resting in yourself as the beginning and end of consciousness. It's so hard to describe what it's like to someone who is a non-practitioner or who does so in not a serious fashion. The entire world that you had known disappears. Matter of fact, all kinds of perceptions disappear. You go to a place before perception, before hearing, before seeing, before feeling. And all that there is silence. But the silence has its own quality of completeness, of peace. Wholeness. No longer a human, normal, weak human being. You come to the beginning of time, beginning of space. And out of you has flowed the world a dream. And more, you feel that everyday life is but a dream. It happens to you, but it's not you. You are abundant peace, ever-flowing consciousness. But you don't flow anymore. You're solid like a rock of consciousness. There's nothing to be done, nowhere to go, nothing to feel or taste or touch. Your mind is silent. And with that absence of mind, the whole world disappears. And there's only you. An observer could come and touch you, try to move you gently. But you're fixed in place. Like a spike driven into the ground. You become unmoving. You become absolute silence. You become everything, but everything is nothing. That's the irony. There's no longer individuals. You become one with everything. But the everything doesn't exist anymore. There's only you. And you're not aware of your own existence. You're aware of peace, of silence, of enormous power of being. You could say you are beingness at this point, but really you're before beingness even. You're out of this world, you're out of your body, you're out of everything. And everything is contained in you, consciousness. But consciousness itself is purged of any individual existences. And you feel such peace as you've never known before. Your existence is assured. There's no fear of non-existence, or dying, or pain. All of those things are things that happen within your consciousness, which doesn't affect consciousness itself. Always try to go deep inside yourself. Feel that as your resting place. Feel that when you're looking to end the woes of the day by dissolving them. You can begin to study consciousness this way, how it comes to you, how it goes, how it may direct you, or you direct it. And in this state, no concepts prevail. No understanding is there. You're in a place where there's no understanding or not understanding. You're not aware of anything, but only of everything. And even that begins to disappear at a point. And you're left with no mind, no world, no body, no self, no non-self. So all the things that you had thought were true begin to disappear as truths. You realize there's a higher truth where there's no thinking, no evaluating, a place where there's no movement. And your body is in perfect peace. If you can feel your body, even that begins to go at a point. Until you're totally out of your former world, your waking world. You're awake but asleep at the same time. You're in perfect peace. There's no meaning. There's no understanding. There's no anything. There's no you, no me, no universe. We may think life starts when we are born. But life really starts 9 months before that. And what is your state then during those 9 months of gestation? What are you then? You're looking for the origins of consciousness, the origins of your body, the origins of your understanding, where none of these things exist. You're before all of them. You don't think, you don't question. Nothing grabs your attention. Because you're in a different state of existence than just an hour before. You are in your truth before the beginning of consciousness. You are there. Same as at night, you are there, but there's nothing happening. Consciousness itself comes and goes, brightens and then dims. And during the day, your mind is filled with events, meetings, stimuli, and knowledge about the world. But when you sleep or you go into deep meditation, there's no longer a you versus the world. You can't even say there's only you. The idea doesn't come up of you, them, me. None of that is there anymore. You enter a land of pure silence and kind of a total elation with becoming nothingness. You don't consciously become nothingness because the consciousness disappears. You become that which is before the beginning of time and after the end of time. You are the witness. It all happens around you and to you. But now there's no reaction to the events. The events are silly little things to pay no attention to. When you grasp the wonder of your own self, and become self-realized. By that I mean you are aware of the entirety of your consciousness and how it gets wiped clean of any particulars like you, me, or the world. It's just consciousness standing by itself, involved in itself alone. And all of the usual contents of consciousness disappear. Your nothingness. But the nothingness is so stupendous, so restful, so revealing of your divinity. Who would know that truth and release, resurrection, are all happening within your consciousness? Most people never get to that place where they rest in themselves. Their mind is on the world. Their mind is on dreams of what we'll do later or tomorrow, or what we should have done yesterday. It's bandied about by our thoughts and our intentions. But when these disappear, you're left in perfect silence. That silence cannot be characterized as anything, as you, me, God, or anything. It's beyond all words and ideas. And it takes you back to your pre-life self. You can't say you're the only one that is. All that you can say is, I am. But you don't believe that you're an I or an am. But that's the only thing you can say. What you are transcends all of understanding, all of human existence. You are a vast emptiness. What the startling effect is that you are this magnificent, even while even while you're a wiggling infant. And you're that way all your life and afterwards. Afterwards, the sense data are gone, but you remain. But without the understanding, I remain. Because that would require the mind. You are there as the beginning and end of existence. Your awareness of the world marks the beginning of written history. You are the base from which all else flows. You are the pre-mind self. And when you can feel that self in you and around you, you're at total eternal rest. Nothing can take this peace from you. You go through life appearing to be like everybody else, but you're not. You're no longer of this world. You don't find your peace in this world. It's found in the vast emptiness that only a meditator feels. You begin to watch your consciousness come and go. When you fall asleep or wake up, you watch your sense of identity and what you identify with as you. And at a point you stop watching. You've passed into beingness, but you're not aware of beingness. You're only aware of silence and peace. And even that is just a wordy way of saying you've become nothing but aware. You're aware, but no objects of awareness. It's the beginning of consciousness. No thoughts come into your mind, come into you. You can't think about anything. Thinking is not possible in this state. This state feels so very solid. Like death itself cannot touch you. It might touch and kill your body, but you wouldn't even be aware of that happening. So examine your own consciousness. Start when you wake up, finish when you try to go to sleep. Turn your attention around. Imaginatively, turn your eyes around and look within your head. When you can do that, you move your attention downwards through the body until it's at rest in your abdomen. And from there on, you don't move anymore. You just rest in yourself. The best rest you've ever received. You don't want to be engaged in the world anymore. You just want to be with yourself alone. Your mind no longer wanders around. It's still and peaceful, but not working at all. It's just observing. And the time will come when it doesn't observe anymore. And you've gone beyond existence altogether. You no longer question things because you don't care about things. You're no longer worried about anything. You're at total peaceful rest. You can open your eyes and it's still the same. You're resting in yourself. Your peacefulness itself. All day long. You may be engaged in activities, but deep inside of you, you're at rest. Even while you're walking or even running, your mind is at rest and you are at peace. Those nagging thoughts aren't there anymore. The ones that have always bothered you, at least for the last 2 or 3 years. Existence becomes non-existence. And you begin to examine non-existence. But you're not aware of this decision to change the viewpoint of what you're after. Everything disappears. But rather than causing a problem, it brings absolute peace. Your body could die in that moment, but you don't care. You're at peace. And death is but a trivial thing. That happens to your gross body. But what you are is far deeper than that. more fundamental than that. Just rest in yourself. Rest in your birthright of peace. And the peace is so powerful. So absolutely powerful. That it overmatches any problems that might arise, past or future. So many things can be said about who or what you are, but in this state, none of them seem to have any meaning. There's no meaning, no thinking. You're not caught up in the moment. All moments have lost their value. They're just events. And the events pale compared to the overwhelming peace you feel inside and around you. Universe and you are perfect as they are. No need to do anything, go anywhere, say anything. No need for relationship, no need for money, no need for a clear mind. No need. This is Radha. Radha's our oldest cat. I think she's about 12. She follows me around. Sits next to me in a chair on the couch. She knows how much I love her. A lot of people know a person like that. Wherever they go, peace seems to follow. Happiness seems to follow. It's all gone. The whole world is gone. There's only your own existence, your own awareness. And you don't need to do anything with it. Just be aware of being aware. Turn your attention on yourself. Turn your attention onto your breathing. Pay attention to what grabs your attention. And after a while, it feels like there's nothing happening anywhere. Even in the midst of activity, you are at rest, at peace. And that becomes the center of your attention. The peace you feel and the elation it brings. This is not a normal state. This is the state of a long-time meditator who no longer believes him or herself to be a body or a mind, that knows at your own heart you're a kind of bliss of being the beginning and the end of all existence. And there's stillness prevailing everywhere. And peace that is absolute. And which conquers every other experience. Find peace in nothingness. And after a while, that nothingness pervades your life. And you're kind of a different person from everybody else. Because you're not of this world. You are the origin of your world. But not a part of it. Does anyone have a question or a statement? Go ahead. Feel your peace. It's your birthright. It comes to you at your birth. But you're not aware of it then. You don't know at that time what the fuck is going on. Can you imagine how scary it is to have been resting total peace with no sense data whatsoever for 9 months? And then you're born. And this whole fucking thing happens to you. How did you take that as a new baby? I know you can't remember, but you can imagine what it's like to have no consciousness. And then it's bestowed on you. And at first, it's just bewildering until you begin to learn about the world and yourself. But you can return to that time before your birth, after death, when you just are, without any awareness of anything. Your mind has stopped, and you have peace. That's what you're aware of, is peace. Can you feel that? Can you feel that peace? Beginning meditators can't find it. Only after you've been around for a while in meditation. And then you know about things that are not there before attention gave them life. You existed before there was the concept of birth and death. And you can begin to marvel at what consciousness does, how it changes, how it becomes quiet and peaceful in meditation when you don't think about anything, or you think about one thing until it disappears. Meditation basically becomes resting in the lap of God, or your own lap if you want. No words mean anything. You are that before words. You are that which is afterwards. It is in you that all words pour forth, but they don't touch you. They touch you until you escape your humanhood and become life itself. Questions? Any statements? Are you all before existence now?
Reggie, I'll come every Wednesday and Sunday, and you come whenever you can to do what you did today. There are no words. I'm collapsed, crushed, overwhelmed in grace, in bliss. God manifest through you did something to me today I cannot describe. I just don't know. There are no words. Simply, you touched on every single thing that I am. I love you so much. You are my beloved, and thank you for today.
I love you too, Jay. You're very special to me. As are all you. All of you. Any more questions or comments?
I just want to echo what Jay said. Other than to fall at your feet and completely dissolve ourselves, there's nothing more I can say from what you did today. Thank you very much for just being there.
Rest in yourself. One of the easiest ways to do this is to imagine you are present somewhere and you fall backwards into yourself. Your mind, you imagine yourself falling backwards and down into yourself, into your body, into your mind. But when you can fall back into that primeval state of mind, there's nothing there anymore except peace. That's your fundamental awareness as a meditator, is peace. But a peace so deep, it has so many other qualities associated with it, like immortality, incredible size and power. Stillness dominates everything. It gets rid of that you that bobbles around, changed and impinged by every event, into someone who does not move unless they want to. They're not moved by events, by theories, by the spirit of the times. They're entirely beyond that because they're at the beginning of existence all the time. A part of you becomes a permanent meditator. You're aware of that sense of power and enormity within yourself. The emptiness which gives rise to the entire universe. Meditation brings you to this primal state of you alone existing. Your body changes too. it settles into itself and finds peace. In deep meditation, you're aware of nothing. You've gone beyond the world, and you've gone even to before the world. In this timeless state, you are there. At the beginning of the beginning, and at the end of the end. Still, quiet, rested, peaceful. But you glow with incredible intensity of your beingness, which is still, but which wraps up the whole world. You don't want to do anything. You're complete in this moment of existence. You're completely accepting of your existence. There's nothing wrong in the world. Nothing wrong with you. You've gone beyond all judgment. In a state of deep, powerful peace. The power of it is there, like a power in you that grows as the silence grows. You alone are. There's nothing but you. And you're not even aware of that. You're only aware of it because I say it. And then you bring your attention to it. You have to go before the beginning of your time. In complete peace. With enormous power of rest. Enormous power of nothingness. You can't tell people about this place in you. Because they don't have the minds that can grasp this state. You have to experience it first. And then it's almost always there because you remember it. You know what it's like. So even in non-meditation, when you're at work, you can feel that power of peace within you. And it's always trying to pull you within itself. So they always become wrapped in peace and bliss. You can't usually use the word bliss anyway, because it has connotations that speak of some kind of activity or coming of a high. But there's no high or low in you. You are the world, beginning and end. And you accept that. Anybody else with a question or a statement? Okay. Let's sit quietly for a few minutes and then go away when we feel like it. I love you all. And I want you all to feel yourselves. Feel yourself. Feel your entirety of yourself. Usually we become aware of small movements in ourselves, a stomach ache, a headache, feeling hungry or angry. But these are limited things. But what you are is unlimited. And the beginning and end of time happen in you. Now be still and know yourself. Just sink into yourself. Imagine falling backwards into yourself. And the more you do that, the more peace you feel. Until the peace itself fills everything. There's no awareness of anything else. Normally I talk about different things. Subject of the day. But always I return to this emptiness which feels like fullness. And the peace which is indescribable because of its depth. And recognition that anything that happens in phenomenality is a trivial thing compared to your fundamental state of awareness and peace. Awareness and peace. You should have at least one period of meditation every day. Better more than that. No more than 25 minutes at a time, because that's the maximum power that you can obtain is 25 minutes, and after that, it starts lagging. So rather than one long meditation of an hour, take 2 or 3. Split it up. And try to remember during your everyday life how wonderful it feels to be immersed in silence. I love you all. See you on Wednesday, if I remember. Last Wednesday, I forgot it was Wednesday. My bad.
This needs to be posted, and if I may be so presumptuous as to suggest a name, I would say, be still and know yourself. I mean, that could be the name for every one of your satsangs, but I don't know, somehow this was so powerful. So really just thank you.
It was a meditation, a guided
Absolutely.
meditation. Not the usual intellectual bullshit I throw at you. But even with the intellectual bullshit I throw at you, I don't mean it. Because the state underneath of just awareness itself is so absolutely powerful. But you don't know it until you've practiced a lot. 1 year is not enough. 1 year of twice a day is not enough. It has to consume you. The state of peace. And it does so only with monumental practice. The steadiness of being in nothingness before time, before space, before the world, before you. And there you are. You realize any words that are said about you are bullshit. The truth is in silence, in stillness, in the resting in yourself. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Don't keep pushing yourself to accomplish something or do something. Just let go of it. Don't let it take you. Be at peace. I love you all. Take care.